I, 29M, have always been the guy who takes care of things. I'm a senior project manager for a construction firm, and I've worked my tail off to get where I am. Because I was doing well, I didn't mind when my fiancée, 27F, decided to quit her retail job a year ago. She wanted to find her passion as a content creator, and I figured why not. I loved her, and I had the means to support us both while we planned our $60,000 wedding. The problem started about 2 months ago. Her social media went from cute travel photos to something way more provocative. She started posting these really suggestive, flirty photos, stuff taken in our bed while I was at work or in high-cut outfits that left almost nothing to the imagination. When I tried to talk to her about it over dinner, she didn't even put her phone down. I told her it made me uncomfortable, especially since my parents and professional colleagues follow her. She looked me dead in the eye and told me I was being the insecure fiancé. She said it was just for the algorithm, and that engagement was up. Then she hit me with the line that broke everything. You're too insecure. It's pathetic, honestly. Get over it or don't, but I'm building a brand. I didn't scream. I didn't throw a fit. I just said, maybe you're right, and went to my office. But maybe was the start of her life unraveling. I decided to look into this brand she was building. On our shared iPad, she'd left a burner email logged in. It wasn't just photos. She had a private account where she was talking to donors. I found messages to a guy in Chicago where she called me a boring, loveless anchor and told him she couldn't wait for him to fly her out once the wedding was over and she had my last name on her legal documents. She was literally using my money to audition my replacement. I spent the next week in a cold, calculated state of mind. I didn't stop the wedding planning. In fact, I went to the final catering tasting and confirmed the $15,000 final payment. But I didn't pay it. Instead, I started moving every cent of my personal money out of our joint account. Since we weren't married and that money was documented as my sole earnings from before any legal union, I was well within my rights. I also called the jeweler. The $12,000 ring was a conditional gift in the eyes of the law in our state, and since the marriage hadn't happened, I reclaimed it as my property. While she was at a bottomless brunch with her friends, the same ones who cheered on her slay queen behavior, I put my house on the market. I'd bought it years before I met her, so it was mine alone. I posted a photo of the for sale listing and tagged her, her mom, and her maid of honor. I wrote, decided to embrace my insecurity and protect my assets. Everything in the house must go by Tuesday. If your brand needs a new headquarters, you better start looking. The panic was instant. My phone was blowing up, but I was already at a hotel. I started digging deeper into the finances and found something even worse. She had been using my secondary credit card, the one meant for wedding emergencies, to fund a secret LLC registered in her sister's name. She was faking invoices for wedding decor and marketing and funneling the cash into her sister's personal savings, with her sister kicking back a management fee to her. That's straight-up fraud. I met with my lawyer on Monday morning. We sent a formal demand letter for the $22,000 she had basically embezzled. While that was happening, she went live on her social media, crying to her followers about how I was financially abusing her and kicking her out for no reason. She was sitting in my living room, acting like a victim for 15,000 people. I sent a text to her sister. I have the bank records of the kickbacks. If that live stream isn't down in 5 minutes and the house isn't empty by 5 p.m., I'm calling the police to report wire fraud. Your choice. The stream went black in 4 minutes. I showed up at the house at 2 p.m. with a locksmith and 2 private security guards. She and her sister were frantically packing. She tried to scream at me that she had rights, but as a guest without a lease who was caught committing financial fraud, she had zero ground to stand on. I handed her a notice to quit and watched the locksmith change the tumblers. The real twist came from that donor in Chicago. He'd seen my viral post and realized he was being played too. It turns out she had scammed him out of $5,000 for a surgery she claimed she needed because I had cut her off. He happened to be a high-stakes lawyer, and he was livid. He contacted me, and we shared evidence. By Wednesday, it was a total collapse. Her sister's husband found out about the LLC fraud and the fact that his name was used on the fraudulent tax documents. He kicked both of them out and filed for divorce. My fiancée was calling me from a cheap motel, sobbing that she had nowhere to go. I told her that she should have thought about that before she turned my life into a marketing strategy. I made one final post on Saturday, the day our engagement party was supposed to be. I posted a spreadsheet of every gift and luxury dinner she had given her friends over the last year, matched with the exact dates she had stolen that money from my wedding fund. I tagged all of them and told them that since these items were bought with stolen funds, they could return them to my lawyer by Monday or be named as co-defendants in a civil recovery suit. It was like watching a pack of wolves turn on each other. Her best friends didn't care about her. They cared about their own reputations. By Monday morning, her maid of honor was at my lawyer's office with a trunk full of designer gear, begging not to be sued. The legal fallout was brutal. To avoid felony wire fraud charges from the Chicago lawyer, she had to sign a confession and a repayment plan that will garnish her wages for years. She's no longer an influencer. She works 2 regular jobs and lives in a tiny studio apartment. I sold the house, moved to a new city, and I'm doing better than ever. I learned the hard way that when someone calls you insecure for having boundaries, it's usually because those boundaries are the only thing stopping them from robbing you blind. I guess my brand is doing just fine, but her account is permanently out of service. If you enjoyed watching a professional scammer get her account deleted by reality, maybe you should follow me for more life updates.